Huge shout out to Snow because he's gonna be showcasing AINZ. Let's go. Sandbox, of course. We're gonna go Sandbox. It's the best place to test it out in. So, I now have a decent idea on how the unit works. So, essentially what happens here is if you read the passives, he has a lot of pretty cool and interesting mechanics that he has. So first, he has spawn a ghost of that unit. When an allied unit in this unit's range is sold or removed, spawn a ghost of that unit for 15 seconds. So if I say, put Sukuna here and I sell it, I believe he should spawn it as well. Or does it have to be your unit? Yeah, but he does have that passive there where if you place a unit down and you sell it, it will spawn a ghost of that. So yeah, he just tried it right there, and that's a ghost of Ali, I believe. Yeah, that's a ghost right there. Try with a different unit, so it has to be your own unit, right? So those are Ollie's, and if you sell them or it gets removed, it will become a ghost. Yeah, so they become a ghost, as you can see right there. That is from AINZ's passive. Spells require the correct amount of elements represented on your team. Spells cycle through as this unit's attacks based on SPA. Spells can be reset once per match. Count as every element but only once. He is immune to status effects and debuffs, and every time he gets affected by a debuff or status effect, or every time he resists a debuff or status effect, he gains 40% damage and he gains plus 10% range, which is pretty nice. So the most complicated part of this unit is going to be his spells. So we are going to reset right here, reset real quick, and I'm going to show you guys the exact thing that's happening right now, because depending on whichever unit or whichever element that you are carrying in your team is going to be the spells that AINZ will be able to use. So let's say you're using fire units, that's going to be the type of spells that AINZ will have access to. If you're using curse units, that's the type of spells that AINZ will have access to. So we're going to reset right here, and we're going to equip curse. Okay, this time equip curse. I want to show them what curse will look like, because he does have many different characteristics here. So, okay, we are not resetting. So earlier we had a fire lineup, so you were seeing fire attacks. This time we're going to bring a curse lineup, so you will now see a curse type of spells. So the curse spell list actually is more summon focused, right? So send me curse spell list. I want them to send me the curse spell list. So you guys will see right here how the curse spell list will work. And he has a spell list for every single element in the entire game. So for curse, it's going to be this one right here, where he has create greater undead and supreme summoning. So when it's attack with this is basically what you're gonna see right here. I'm just not gonna read over that. So those spell list is why we are getting summons right here. We have a greater undead. We have a goat. A goat, by the way, is 1,200 of his damage stat. And you can only have a global limit of 3 goats. But this one right here is incredibly broken, considering the fact that he isn't even upgraded yet. So upgrade him to max. I just want you guys to know that the goats that are spawning right now that has 1 million something HP isn't even him at max. This is the stat of his summons at level 1. This is the stat of his frigging goat at max upgrade. 16 million summon, dude. 16 million summon is crazy. This will kill almost any boss, bro. This will kill so many bosses. This is so nice. This is so nice, bro. So yeah, that's pretty much curse and what curse does. Yeah, that's what curse does, right? That's basically the curse spell list. It's focused on summoning. So if you really want a summoning, you can use him with Sukuna, Hollow Knight, and him, and then you're probably going to be good. Like Sukuna, him, and Hollow Knight, you're probably going to be cooking already with a team like that, because those are some insane curse units. I don't know of another curse unit. Saber Altar will probably be good, but yeah, that's a pretty great lineup right there. Okay, so now since you already seen the curse spells, we're gonna move on to, I believe, is it Cosmic? Can you bring a Cosmic spell lineup? I forgot the Cosmic spells. No, try, is it Cosmic? Yeah, try Cosmic. Try Cosmic. I believe that's the one that has a slow. How you can change spell list according to the passive is you have to reset it, right? Because you cannot change your spells once the game is started. So a lot like Hollow Knight, you cannot change the spells very easily. You have to restart the map. If you are using Curse, by the way, it's just gonna be summons. If you're using Cosmic, it's gonna be something else. If you're using Flame, like you saw earlier, it's gonna be Burn. So right now, you guys will see him send Cosmic spells. Right now, you guys will see him use a Cosmic lineup. And yeah, Cosmic, I don't really have Cosmic right now, but yeah. Just send it to me real quick and we'll be able to see it. So, okay, he sent it already. This is how it looks like right here. He has Ray of Negative Energy, which applies slow by 50% for 30 seconds. So yeah, this one will apply slow. And also, this one will apply or pull enemies in. I don't know why he's not attacking. Why ain't he attacking? But he should be attacking right now. I don't know what's happening. He's not attacking. He might be broken. All right, there you go. He attacked and he... Okay, so you can actually only equip spells once per match. Max him out. You can only equip spells once per match, which is pretty interesting. So if you didn't equip the spells, you can still equip them, but you can't change them. You can't change him, right? So you can't change the spell list anymore. So that's pretty interesting. He's very overpowered though. This specific set of spells apply slow by 50% for 30 seconds and also pulls in all enemies. But this one right here doesn't have summons, which is very unfortunate. So it really depends on what you want to do with AINZ, right? Alright, so now let's go take a look at world items because spells are something, right? Spells are, you know, his other kit. You know, everything that he has, his damage, his AoE will depend on spells. And then he also has the goal of all life in death. Or the goal of all life is death. And basically what this just does is kills all enemies. If I spawn in an enemy right now with like 1 million or 1 billion HP, he will still be able to kill it. Let me just show you right now. Let me give him a health multiplier of 99999 and let me spawn in about 50 of them. He won't be able to kill this red ant right here because it has 103 million HP. Use the goal of all life is death. It can only be used after wave 50. Okay, so let's skip to wave 50 then. This one right here can only be used after wave 50. So you gotta wait until wave 50 to be able to use that. So that's like an infinite ability. So use it. And if you use it, he will do something like this. And oh my god, look at that. He's tweaking out. And then he kills all the red ants that had like 100 million HP. So absolutely broken for infinite. Is it a one-time use? One-time use? I believe it is a one-time use, right? It has to be a one-time use. It has to be a one-time use. That was so broken. And then after that, okay, the bosses are spawning in. It says starting use is 1. Use again. I wonder if you can use him again. So we think that you can use it after or every 50 waves essentially. Okay, we have to restart. We have to restart. We have to restart. I lost. Oh my god, we have to restart. Oh my god, we have to restart. Yeah, so this is the spell that we were talking about. This is the greater control undead spell, which will just every enemy that he kills, he will respawn and he will basically send it back to them. I believe for a portion of his damage. So actually no, he's not useless alone. Never mind, he's not useless alone. Not useless alone. Check my stream. Alright, so I want to see what happens. Yeah. Max him out. I want to see if that damage increases. Max him out. Do not wave skip, okay? Do not wave skip. Let's just use red ants here. I want to spawn in 100 red ants, right? Okay. I want to see how much HP they'll spawn with. Okay, so it is dependent. Okay, so he's still broken, man. Even if you use him alone, it seems that he still works. Yeah, he still works. He definitely still works. Yeah, he actually still does work because of those summons right there. He's still pretty good. Yeah, but he's just better with what do you call this? With a team. So probably something like maybe use him with. Check the world items here. So for world items, we have World Saver. Every wave increases the damage this would deal by 30%. On activation, deals this damage to all enemies on the map. Branch of Malikli. Every unit of the active player becomes permanently immune to status debuffs and status. Okay, I want you to place down a unit. Okay, used. Okay, now we are going to spawn in the same Yomos, and now we can see if they are going to get energy drain, because this essentially just gives them. Okay, they are not getting affected by energy drain. They are not getting affected by energy drain, chat. Chat, they are not. Okay, this guy still get affected by energy. Okay, he is not getting affected by energy drain. None of them are getting affected by energy drain. What about if I spawn in 5 Itachis? Now, Itachis is a boss that stuns units, and Hollow Knight and Sukuna doesn't have stun immunity right now. So, Branch of Miliki effectively makes your units immune, which is pretty nice. Oh, that's nice. But only usable after a certain upgrade. So, can you still use his other world items? How about you use Ouroboros? Yeah, but he does this to every unit. That's the thing. He does this to every unit. So you can only use one per match, right? He does this every unit though. Right, he does this every unit, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so essentially what this unit has is he can summon, basically he can summon, you can use the elements, you can change the elements, match his elements to use his spells. Whichever elements you have, however many elements you have will unlock the spell. So if you have like 2 or 3 curse units, you'll be able to use 3 curse spells. If you have 3 nature units, you'll be able to use 3 nature spells or the nature spells. And then that's basically how the spells work. He has one spell that he can use all the time, regardless of which elements you have, which is pretty nice. And his world items are pretty cool. His world items are just really, really broken. You can get like status, permanent immunity to status debuff in effect. And he also has this one right here. All of it is absolutely nice. He is a fun and utility unit, but I don't think I think he's broken, but you actually need to have a wisdom to use him still, in my opinion. So overall, I think this unit is pretty broken, pretty nice, pretty crazy. It's just that you have to have a brain to use him, and you have to be able to understand how his spells work. But yeah, so far this unit is pretty nice though. That's it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.